everyone, and welcome back. My name is Heather Stamper, and today is a teacher hat edition of my channel. It's back to school time. I start back on the 9th of August, and I see my students for the first time actually Monday night because of back to school night. That's when they had it scheduled, and the kids can drop off their supplies and get to meet me, and maybe I'll remember what they look like on Wednesday when they come in for the actual first day of school. So I want to kind of talk about what goes on in my mind as I'm getting things ready for school. And yes, and Gigi has a lot to say about it too, because he's used to seeing me all summer. And yes, honey, I know. He's wandering around on the floor. Come here. Oh, he's an adorableness. Hang on a second. Come here, you. Whoa. Yay. Here he is, Mr. America. Yes, what are you going to do? Mommy's not going to be home during the day anymore. What are you going to do about that? See, usually his routine when I'm at school or when I go to school is when I wake up in the morning, he does everything he can to keep me from getting out of bed. So I have to stay home. When I do try to get out the door, I have to trick him from following me because he just wants to make sure that I am safe, and he wants to make sure that I am going to come back. And I always come back, don't I, sweetheart? Yes, I do. So yeah, I feel being a YouTube star. And then when I come home, he'll meet me at the door usually, and he'll be meowing at me, telling me all about stressful day of watching the birds and the chipmunks and the squirrels at the feeder, and assisting his daddy with his work. My husband teaches, and for the past year and a half, 2 years, he's been doing all of his teaching online. So, and he does editing work online too. So he's a busy guy, and he's an excellent mascot for that. You gonna be a good boy? Okay. Well, if you can sit, okay. Are you going to stay, or are you gonna go? Whee! Okay. If you can be good, you can stay. But you gotta be good. Don't go walking across the screen. I promise nothing. I always have little voices for Gigi, and the students love him. I don't get to bring him in because people are allergic to cats. But I always show pictures and I tell stories about Gigi's crazy adventures. So yeah, so that was a sidetrack. Let's get back on track. Okay, so what goes through my mind as I'm getting ready for the first day of school? Well, part of me is really excited because, even though I enjoy having the time off, I miss working with the kids, and I miss watching their minds light up when they figure stuff out. It's just so cool. Also, by the same token, I'm kind of have the sads a little bit because I've enjoyed my time off, even though it wasn't exactly time off. I taught summer school for a month, so that took all my June. I had a couple of professional development doohickeys, and so that took up some time. I tutored at Sylvan a couple of times during the summer, so that took up some more time. So I had some time off. We didn't do any traveling or anything, but it's just like we went on hikes and we did stuff like that there. We actually ate in a restaurant for the first time in over a year, and that was exciting stuff. So we take the thrills when we can get it, right? I slept. Sleeping is good. I don't sleep enough during the school year just because I'm either upgrading or I'm planning something, or I'm thinking about, oh my gosh, so-and-so, hope, everything's going okay, or how am I going to reach this kid, so on and so forth. Other things that go through my mind as I'm getting ready for school is, can I get all of the things ready? The answer is usually no. I can't get all the things ready, and I have to accept that. I have to go through that process every year, and I've been teaching for over 20 years now, and I still... You're like, oh my gosh, I don't have this binder ready. I don't have this format set up yet. I don't have this center ready yet. And it all ends up being okay. But every year, my mind goes through the whole spiel of, did I get this? Did I get this? We get our schedules for what specials. I'm elementary, so, it's like we get a set schedule of what our specials are going to be. We go through the whole thing of, how is our day going to look? We got to fit in 90 minutes of language arts and 90 minutes plus. We got to fit our math special, lunch. We're eating breakfast in the classroom, so that takes up time. And then getting ready to go home. That's a lot of information going past me. So, yeah, I do get a little anxious about that. But then after the first week or so, it settles in and everything's fine. Again, everything's fine. They'll be fine. Another thing that goes through my mind is, what are my students going to be like? I get the list of names. I know whether or not they're boys or girls. I kind of have an ish idea about how they did in first grade, or whether or not they were virtual or whatever. But other than that, there is so much about a kid that you can't just put on a little slip of paper describing this child. One, it's like, what's their transportation going to be? That's probably like my biggest thing at the end of the first day of school. Is like, did everybody go home the right way? Count all the little ducks. Did they all get on the right bus? And the answer is usually yes, they usually do. The point is to not panic. Yeah. Other things is like new programs, any new programs that come down the pike, which you get some training about it in the summertime. Then when it comes time to implement it, all of that knowledge that you were given about whatever program is kind of like, maybe that'll work. There's always that thing where it's just like the thing that you don't expect to happen, that's when it happens. Or technology fails. Yeah. Especially last year when we did virtual for the first quarter, we had so many issues with the Wi-Fi, with getting the Google Meets going, making sure everybody was online. Things kept freezing. People kept dropping. And, it's like, I got dropped. And, oh, my gosh. And, it's like we were all hyperventilating. But that's one of those things where you have to say, hey, I survived teaching virtually during the pandemic. I can do this. I can do anything, right? You go through all that. And then when the internet decides it's not going to participate today, then you have to reintroduce the children to a concept of paper and pencil. Coloring inside the little bubbles. What nonsense is that? You talk to any teacher and they're going to have similar concerns. In those first 2 days before the students come in, there's usually full of informative meetings that, you're sitting there and you're listening to and you're thinking, I got to get this done. I got to get this thing laminated. I got to run off these copies. I got to, make sure all their little manipulative kits are put together, all the things like that. When you see your child's teacher that first day of school or at the open house the night before, one, please don't be mad if they don't remember who you are. They had to see 20 to 30 different faces and families. They're not going to remember who you are. And so please give us some grace, please. We will do our best. But yeah, that's a little peek into my mind of getting ready for the first week of school. If you're a teacher, how is yours different? Or how is it the same? And maybe you all can commiserate. Or maybe you're like, girl, you worry way too much. And I probably do. That's how it goes. But anyway, that's my teacher hat video for this week. If you like these types of videos, please click like and subscribe. Ding-a-ling the little bell so that you can see more videos like this. And I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.